Welcome back. Another significant object of testing or reading assessment in general is comprehension. Product assessment focuses on how much or how well they comprehend. Process assessment focuses on readers' strategies in comprehending a printed material. As mentioned earlier, testing can very well handle product assessment. This is what I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Perhaps the important point to remember in testing is to consider the levels of comprehension skills in designing or planning a reading test of comprehension. First, it will be good to include items testing literal or factual comprehension. We refer to this as reading the lines. Here are some comprehension skills in this level, an example of an item for each. First, identifying the significant details in a narrative or expository text. Here is an example of a supply type of item. The name of the scientist who first experimented with light is blank. For sure, the answer to this type of item is explicitly given in the text. If you like, you can convert this to a multiple choice item like: the name of the scientist who experimented with light is blank. A. Isaac Newton. B. Thomas Edison. C. Alexander Graham Bell. The second level of comprehension skills is referred to as implicit or interpretative comprehension. It is reading between the lines. The questions require predicting outcomes, interpreting, inferring, drawing conclusions and generalizations, and summarizing. Here's an example of an item for the second level. Why do you think a display of the Northern Lights impresses people so much? The answer to this question or item is not directly given in the text, but is implied only. This is how we can tell whether the item is testing the second level of comprehension. You don't actually see the answer printed in the text. The student should be able to read between the lines. I'm sure you have seen a lot of test questions of this type. The third level is also implicit comprehension, but it is called critical comprehension. It is reading beyond the lines. This is being able to answer questions that call for critical or evaluative responses from the learners. One skill falling under this category is evaluating the actions of the individuals or groups related to the material read. Take this example. Would you have done what the main character did when he discovered the letter? Why? Why not? As you can see, this calls for a personal reactions from your students. You cannot impose a simple correct answer here. You will have to treat this as a supply type of item, like a restricted essay type, and score this using a simple scale as a 3-point scale like this. 2 points, reasons given are logical and coherent. 1 point, reasons given lack coherence. Or 0 or no point, reasons given completely incoherent, or no response. If you want, you can expand the scoring guide to make it a 5-point or even a 6-point scale. Let's now focus on another aspect of reading assessment: the processes or strategies used by the readers in comprehending the printed material. As mentioned earlier, these are the non-test procedures or the non-traditional techniques. These are what have been stressed quite lately in the field of reading. An assessment of these strategies will give information as to how children think about or monitor their own comprehension. Research shows that one characteristic of good readers is that they know how to monitor their comprehension. They are in control of their devices or strategies. It would then be useful to find out what strategies readers use in comprehending the text. Assessment of these metacognitive strategies is done in various ways. One useful device is a questionnaire response format. Observe the directions used. For each question, choose the one statement that tells the best thing to do before you read a story, book, or content textbook to help you best understand it. 1. Before I begin reading, it's very helpful to A. Summarize the first part of the material. B. Count how many pages are found in the material. C. Make some predictions about what might happen in the material. D. Ask my best friend if the material is easy or hard to understand. Here's another example. Before I begin reading, I should always A. Preview the material, looking at the main headings, subheadings, pictures, diagrams, and tables. B. Make a guess as how long it will take me to read the material. C. See if the material probably will make sense to me. And D. Underline all the hard words in the material. Both items contain strategies which students normally do before reading the text. However, there is a strategy, if practiced well, will help in comprehending the material. In item 1, option C, that is, make some prediction about what might happen in the material, is a good metacognitive strategy. In item 2, option A, that is, previewing the materials, looking at the main headings, subheadings, pictures, and others, is another metacognitive strategy. You can see that this type of assessment will help you identify the students who practice self-monitoring strategies and those who don't before actually starting to read. This time, let's see an example of a question that can be asked while reading the text. Let's read the directions.